Well, we get to play one of the hotter teams in our league. They took a tough loss. I guess A&M got them at home, but they've been playing awful good basketball, and that is Tennessee. Donnie Tyndall has done an outstanding job. We just played them less than 2 weeks ago. So it's two teams that are familiar with one another, and in that game, some of the things that really kind of came out and stood out were the turnovers that we had. We had 18 turnovers that led to 27 points for them, which were live ball turnovers, which was very rare for us. And I thought that had a big impact on the game. They got to the free throw lines. It was 26-14. So when you look at that, you think, man, they beat us on the boards, I think maybe one or two. They shot over 50% from the field. You think we didn't have a chance, and yet we had 3 free throws to tie the game right at the end. So it just seemed like they controlled the game as a 2-point game at halftime. And then in the second half, they went up, 14, 15 points. And it seemed like within a window of 3 to 4 minutes, the tempo went to our liking. So that means they controlled the tempo for the most part of the game. So this game here is kind of the rubber game. Not necessarily rubber game, but it's the home and home portion of our schedule. So we got a team that we've played, and hopefully we'll play a lot better.
The players were just up here saying they didn't really play their style to the very end, that they want to do it from the get-go. Tomorrow night, do you get a sense you guys are ready to do that?
Well, we'll see. I hope we are. I think that's something we've really been stressing day in and day out, is our defense has really got to cause havoc. And hopefully that havoc will create tempo to our liking.
They obviously got a revenge deal, but just the fact they got beaten at their own game, as far as a pressing team causing you all problems, you feel that's an extra incentive for them?
Well, to me, Nate, that game, when you talk about their pressure is a little different than ours. Ours just calls to speed you up. I think theirs is mostly to control the tempo. But if you're weak with the basketball, you make bad decisions, then of course they make you pay for it. Then they go into the zone to make you try to figure it out. Whereas ours, we want tempo. We want that shot up in 8 to 10 seconds. We want that. So it'll be interesting to see what takes place. But hopefully we'll attack the zone, the pressure defense, and the zone a lot better this time.
The common denominator to the defense not being where you want it this year?
Well, it's not been consistent. I think that's the key. There are games we try to outscore people, and I know we all know in this league here you can't do that, because there are going to be some nights where you don't shoot the ball well. I want our defense to be the constant. Is what we hang our hats on. So that's hopefully we'll get a chance to see us improve even more. In the Missouri game, we held them. I guess they made 60 points. They normally score 68 points. So that means that's another step in the right direction.
Talk about being quick, but don't be in a hurry. Kind of where does the line cross? Where being quick slides into being too much in a hurry?
I think you got to attack it, but I think at the same time you got to make sure you make the right decision. When you're trying to get it done in one pass or 2 passes, sometimes the defense won't allow you to do that. So you got to take what the defense give you, and that's what when you have a team that's pressing you, you got to make them pay. But you can't just all of a sudden do it in one pass. And I thought that's what we were trying to do up there at Tennessee. And we've been much better with the ball since then.
Alana said in the press conference on Thursday in Missouri that they felt like they should have won that game. Do you feel like that's the whole team mindset heading into tomorrow night?
We didn't play like we're capable of playing. Whether we didn't go in there with the right mental approach, they had more energy than we did. They played at home, and so they played well. They played well. They made some shots. Hub had a career game in that particular game there. Josh Richardson was the guy that kind of controlled the tempo. I thought the Armani Moore kid played well for him. So they had some kids that played well for him, where we had some guys that didn't play particularly well.
What do you think about Josh Richardson, the game he had, and just him overall?
I think he's really transformed himself into an excellent player. And, he was there with Stokes and Mabin and that group there, and McCray, and just kind of waiting his time. And so now you get a new coach in there that's kind of put the ball in your hand. You're that guy. You're the leader of that team. and he's playing well. I think he's really. And it started last year. I think last year in the tournament he played well for him, and he just taking it to conference play as well. Always been a good defensive player, and I think offensively he's a lot better with the basketball and making shots.
Coach, having played Tennessee so recently, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you know them, but they also know you. So are there any strategic differences or changes that you're going to make tomorrow night that didn't work or you didn't use against Tennessee last time?
I said at the beginning of the game, take care of the ball. Play defense, take care of the basketball, attack the glass, get our bench involved, create tempo, and you got to make shots. Get to the free throw lines more than they do. And then, of course, when they put the pressure or the zone, we got to attack and take good shots and attack the glass. I think when you play a zone, obviously there are going to be some areas where you can get some rebounds. So we've got to get guys in there attacking the glass. We've got to be in attack mode. I think that's the key to me. We've got to be in attack mode, but I'm looking at our defense. That's all I want to talk about is our defense. I want our defense to play at the highest level as we continue throughout this season.
Coach, I'm sure you would have liked to get win these last two games more comfortably, but do you think you get more value out of being able to pull out these close wins early in conference play?
Well, that wasn't the case last year, so we're doing it this year. That's a step in the right direction.
I guess when you're in close games, what does that do for a team?
Well, it just shows you your guys are not panicking. You know, with all the circumstances and all the things that are taking place, they're staying in the moment. And when you can do that and make plays, it's about players making plays. And so, classic example, you know, Kai Madden took the shot last year that possibly could have won the game out of Missouri. Well, guess what? Kai takes the shot this year, on balance, squares up, knocks it down, makes it. And of course, it took 2 free throws for the guy to miss, but he made the play, the shot, this year. So hopefully we're making more plays this year than we did last year in those kind of games. But we're not panicking. We have some players that we can go to and hopefully can make plays or get to the free throw line or trust as they draw people to them that trust that next guy.
Coach, you talked about the quick turnaround, the 2 weeks between playing them. Is there a difference in playing a team that quick of a turnaround, or where it's prolonged throughout the season, where you see them at the beginning and then at the end of conference play?
Well, I try to think about, you know, have we done that before? And I think we have done it, where we turn around and played another team, and it's, I mean, 2 weeks seemed a long time ago, to tell you the truth. You know, because you've played game after game. You know, it's not like it's been an open week or something like that there. And they're next team on our schedule. Going in there knowing that you're going to have a return game. So they're the next game on the schedule. But in terms of the time, you know, our guys just want to play. And the time limit we played, I guess this is in 6 days we're going to play 3 games. Is that what it was? 3 games, six days. So these guys are, I think they're just kind of honing in on just playing basketball games.
This is a little bit off subject, but I know the NCAA doesn't make schools play with a certain kind of brand of ball. They just have to be the same specs or whatever. But have you ever had kids maybe having trouble going from a Nike ball to an Adidas ball to a Wilson? Have you ever had to have kids who've had to adjust to different?
No, not really. I think, you know, most of the balls are, when you talk about field, they're very, very similar. And if we do play with a different ball, we try to get those balls in and shoot around with it a little bit. I think this year somebody had Wilson's ball, and so we had some in. A couple of practices we worked out with them, and I mean they wouldn't tell me, but it could have effect. But no one's never ever said anything to me about that.
You think should be standardized the same kind of ball, or are you okay with how it is?
It's funny because of, you know, all the different deals that the teams have, and then you got the NCAA also. You know, I think they play with Wilson during the NCAA. So I mean, it's something you would want to, but will it ever happen? I don't know.
Hey, Mike, you mentioned 3 games in 6 days. The players said you're taking it off a little bit, not killing them quite so much in practice. What have the practices been like in this span?
Well, you know, this time of the year is you know, we've got everything in now. Our guys are in the shape they're going to be in, the conditioning part of it. So now it's talking about bringing them in and you're tuning up what you're doing, what you're working on. You're working on your offense, your defense. You know, you may put some wrinkles in there every now and then, and get a lot of shooting in. That's all, shooting and free throws. So our practice right now will probably last 50 minutes at the most, and that's 45 to 50 minutes. So it's more, and during this stretch right here, it really kind of cut down to that time frame because of, I want the energy for the game, and that's what I want to see our guys show up with. So the question she asked me, if there's something different you do, show up with some energy. That's what we better show up with, some energy.